Much like we did with our beautiful agents, we're going to create a series of pages that display just one real estate listing on each page. And then we'll set links from this grid view page to each of our new listings pages. So let's create a new page from master. Browse to find our main master page. And create custom content. Now, before we do anything else, let's save this page. And following the naming convention we already have here, we have agents and each agent. We have listings, and let's call this each listing. And remember, noting that name is very important because we'll need that when we set the link. Now we're ready to bring in our data source. So scroll down to data. This should be a nice quick review for you at this stage. Configure the data source. Once again, set the connection string to connection string 1. And this time, we want to choose the view Listings with Agents. Because on these individual listing pages, I want to include the agent's name as well as the details about the listing. Now, instead of clicking next to the asterisk and taking all of these fields, I'm going to be a little more selective this time and choose just the things I know I need. So the property title, the description, definitely want the listing price, pretty much everything to do with the listing itself. I'll take the large photo because I want the bigger picture on my internal pages, but I don't need the small photo. Now, I do want a little bit of information about my agent. I'm going to want their name, so I'll take salutation first and last name, and I'll take the agent's title, but I don't want a photo for the agent. I also don't need all these other details about the agent. But let's go ahead and get both of the ID fields, just to make sure we have those unique modifiers if we need those at any point in the future. As a general rule, I always suggest you choose the ID, even though we're going to delete it from the display, because you don't need your viewers to see it. You still want it associated with the data source so that you have this unique modifier available when you need it. Now remember, when we're setting up individual pages like this, we do need a where statement. So we'll click on that where button. Under columns, choose ID. Under operator, the program should automatically enter an equal sign for you. Under source, we'll choose query string. Now, following the same naming convention we used with agents, let's call this which listing, because this is going to identify which listing should be displayed on each page. And again, I know that all of the IDs for my listings start with number 1 and go up from there. So I'm going to enter a -1 as the default value so that I can control what message is displayed if someone gets to a page by accident that's not associated with an actual listing. When you get all of that in place, don't forget to click the Add button. Now that we have our where clause created, we can click OK, and we're ready to move on with the next button. And now again, when we test that query, we see our -1. If we change that to 1, we'll see the first listing. And you see my property title, description, the listing price, territory, all the way down to the 2 IDs that were at the end. And what you're seeing here is my real estate listing 1 is associated with my agent whose ID is number 2. These numbers aren't supposed to correspond. This is something I've set up in the database itself to associate specific agents with specific properties. If I wanted to try a different one, I could choose test property and maybe type in 6. And let's see, listing number 6, our Great Escape. And again, if we scroll over, you see the ID for our listing is associated with an agent. And if I finish, I now have my data in place, and I'm ready to display that data on the page.